Welcome to Tell Me About Your Bike, the podcast about the meaning of life, the universe, and bicycling. I'm your host, Wesley Cheney, and today I've got a guest who has lived in New Hampshire for quite some time and is part of the Northeast Bicycle. What's the name of your project?
Bike the North Country.
Bike the North Country. Thank you. So tell us your name, give us a little introduction, and tell us what you're riding today.
I am Bruce Kaplane. I've been in New Hampshire for about 17 years, living in Bethlehem. And what am I riding today? Today I'm riding my e-bike, which is my commuter bike. I rather ride than drive.
Yes.
It's hilly around here. So if I have to run errands or just, get somewhere quickly, I jump on the e-bike and here I am.
Okay.
It's actually quicker on the e-bike sometimes than it is by car. So it's great, and you feel way better.
Yeah. I worked with Pedigo bikes for a while and I came to love them. So those were good e-bikes. How many? What's your average commute like on your bike?
My average commute is fairly short. Okay. If I'm in Bethlehem, I'm running a mile here, a mile there. That's quick. Most of the other commutes would be town to town. So I might run over to Littleton or Franconia. Mm-hmm. Those are 5 miles each way. So it's pretty quick.
And the road, it's a 2-lane road to Littleton. How is it in terms of bike friendliness?
It depends. I've changed my attitude over the years, and I find them less bike-friendly. But I've also learned how to get off the main roads now, and that's what I do mostly. I'll ride on some of the main roads that have some good shoulders, and then I'll jump down and go over onto the rail trail, and then I can follow the rail trail into town, and that's easy.
Oh, great. And so how long is that rail trail?
The rail trail goes right now from Woodsville all the way through Bethlehem. So right now it's about 30 miles. We have in Bethlehem and Littleton about 10 miles of that trail.
Okay. That sounds like a fairly decent commute then.
Yeah, it's fun.
And are you an all-season cyclist, or do you kind of give it up during the winter?
I used to give it up during the winter and move my riding inside to a trainer, which I still do a lot of that. Yeah. It's painful. It's boring. Yeah. It's not fun. But being up here, we've started grooming the trails in the winter. And fat tire riding is just the most amazing thing. So, as long as there's snow on the ground, we're all out riding. So, it's pretty close to year-round at this point. Mud season, maybe not so much, but then you ride some gravel bikes and get on the gravel a little bit. But so pretty much year-round at this point. Okay.
And what's your connection with Littleton Bike and Fitness?
They are, I'll say, the grandfather of cycling in this area. Dave Harkless has done an amazing job getting cycling going in the area. He started with Parker Mountain Trails. Those have taken off. He's gotten a lot of people on road bikes, and he had a road racing team at one point. So they do a ton in the community. They're just amazing community supporters. And from there, we now have 3 trail networks in the area. We have one literally outside the door right here. There's one in the next town over in Franconia, and we're connecting them all. So you'll be able to ride from town to town and trail to trail. And we'll have about 100. We have about 100 miles of trails at this point.
Oh, that's great.
So Dave did an amazing job getting this all started years ago.
Side note: when I was here in July, I was in Littleton on Main Street, and I started seeing a bunch of fit guys riding west on road bikes. And there was like 2 or 3 and then 2 or 3. And then finally I saw the van go by, and it was a bicycle touring company, and on the back of it, it said something to the effect of cross-country ride. And so apparently it looked like a supported ride. They had just started out. And I, at the time I said to my partner, I was like, normally when you ride coast to coast, you go with the wind.
Yes.
So I said, I don't know who they got to sign up to do a supported tour from east to west. But I was like, I said, but if you were a touring company, I guess it would make financial sense to run a tour from west to east and then try to get people to sign up for an east to west so that you didn't have a totally empty drive going back west. That I said, and then I'm sure there were. I know of people who have been like, well, yeah, I've ridden coast to coast, but it's so much better when you go west. Yeah. It's so much better when you ride east to west than west to east. It means more. Yeah. I had to work harder for it.
Imagine you do.
So, tell me a little bit more about Bike the North Country.
So Bike the North Country started maybe 4 years ago, and it was really to bring all the bike resources that we have in this area together and try and promote them. Right? To mention that we have we have different trail networks. We have different groups and organizations all supporting and promoting biking, but this was to bring it all together and see how we could sell the area and the community as a bike-friendly area. Mm-hmm. So our first initiative was to become bike-friendly. Right. So we applied to the League of American Bicyclists. Mm-hmm. It is a very painful, long process, pages and pages and pages of the application. Yeah. But we actually got approved, and we were certified as bike-friendly. And it's really a testament to all the work that everyone's done in this community, like the Dave Harklesses and the others that have started a network here in Bethlehem and in Franconia. Right. And then you pull the story together. It's a really cool story.
Now, how wide does your certification cover? Because I know that, when I lived in Norfolk, Virginia, we were applying to be a bike-friendly community there, and it was the city of, but it sounds like this is more than just a couple of towns, but you're a region?
We did it as we call it the Tri-Town community, so Bethlehem, Franconia, and Littleton. Okay. And we applied as a 3-party town. Okay. And that's how we've been approved. Once we got that going, then it was really, how do we promote bike safety, bike education, accessibility, and that's what we've been focusing on at Bike the North Country since. Okay. We've been fortunate. We got some really great grants that have let us put a lot of money into the community for biking, and it's made a huge difference. It's really good.
Some people feel like they need infrastructure in order to grow the community, and some people say, no, you need the community first, and then the infrastructure comes along later. What's been your experience with that?
We had a really good infrastructure. Okay. And then it was, and we had a lot of good supporting businesses and people in the community to support biking. Mm-hmm. So getting the grant was just laying out sort of the resources that you need to finish it off. Mm-hmm. We've put bike pump and repair stations in, about 15 of them in the community. Right. We've put 20 bike racks at different locations.
I've seen them all over Littleton, yeah.
Yeah, they're great. And we had someone locally who did them. He built them for us. He designed it, he built them, and they look great. Mm-hmm. We've put in 12 bike information kiosks that have maps in them. So anyone that sees one and wants to grab a map, you can just grab one, or you can just look at where all the information is on the map. So you can look at what resources we have and what events are coming up. Right. So it's been really good. And then we put in gear libraries. So accessibility for everyone. There are 3 gear libraries.
And what's in a gear library?
Each one has, right now, about 15 bikes in it. Okay. We have different bikes. We have a few gravel bikes, a few e-assist bikes. Mm-hmm. We have a bunch of mountain bikes, a bunch of fat tire bikes. Mm-hmm. So really, see all year round, any season, someone can grab a bike, and they're all different sizes, and you can borrow them for free and just get out there and ride gravel, ride the road, run an errand, get on the trails, whatever. So like I said, we have 3 of them, 1 in each town. And it's been amazing, and the success of them is just phenomenal. I think in Bethlehem, which was the first one, and we've had that one the longest, we've had close to 300 rentals in the last year.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That is amazing. And Bethlehem it's only a couple thousand people?
Barely.
Yeah.
Not even. But it's probably a 50-50 mix of residents that borrow them and visitors, right? Which is great. People come up, they didn't realize we had trails here, good riding. Yeah. And they're like, let me ride, and they start looking it up, and they love it. It's great.
So I understand that you've got a program for getting donated bikes to people who need them. And that was my original introduction to you, was because when my father passed away back in the summer, we had several of his bikes that didn't fit anybody in the family and were pretty good bikes, and we wanted to get them to somebody who needed a bike. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's that program's grown over time, and I feel like it has its seasons. Right now is one of those seasons as everyone's wrapping up summer riding season, and they don't want that bike anymore. And we get these bikes that everyone says they're great bikes and fantastic bikes, and they probably haven't been ridden for 20 years and have a lot of issues. But we'll take them. We'll take any bike. The bikes you gave were those were really nice bikes and in great condition.
Maintained everything very well.
You could tell he just loved his bikes.
Yeah.
So it was great to get those. But we'll take them. We'll do an assessment of them, and we'll bring them to one of the local bike shops, have them do a tune-up and replace any parts that need replacing. And then we start looking in the community to see who needs it. We've gone to schools, given kids bikes through schools.
Right.
We've given them to police departments around the holidays who want to give bikes to kids, and they wouldn't have them otherwise. We've given them to adults that can't afford them.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work with some of the, I'll say, halfway houses in the area, or troubled houses.
Yeah.
And they love to get the bikes because these are people that can't drive.
Right.
They're not allowed to drive. And so their options are limited on where they can go, jobs they can get, and this gives them some mobility, which is fantastic. And you see the bikes all over you. We always put a sticker on it, so it's like, I know that bike. I remember that bike. We've probably given out about 50 bikes at this point.
Oh, that's
and I think
great.
I have another 5 or 6 in the gear library right now that I'm looking for a home for, which is great. It's really a good program. And I mentioned accessibility.
Yeah.
This is accessibility. It's like everyone should be able to ride, and everyone should be able to get around. We don't have, and we don't have public transportation. We don't have Ubers. We don't have many taxis, and the ones we have are expensive.
Yes.
So you're either walking, and you'll see a lot of people walking that don't have the bikes. So give people a bike, and now they can get a job somewhere. They can go run errands. They can get their groceries somewhere.
Yeah.
It's life-changing for them, so it's neat. We actually had a woman, 2 women from the southern part of the state who reached out and said they had 2 e-bikes. And they wanted to donate them to us. Could we use them?
Right.
But sure. They were brand new e-bikes. I think they'd ridden them once. They felt that they didn't want to ride on the road, and they couldn't get to the trails. And they weren't comfortable with it. And they said they had them for 2 years. Perfect condition, barely a speck of dirt on them.
Oh, wow.
So we ran some promotions and asked people, send us your story. Tell us why you need this e-bike. What will you do with it? There's one guy, he lives in town right now. He's one of the people we gave it to. He was living in a shelter. His wife is sick. He needs to run out and get groceries, medicines. He wasn't able to before.
Right.
This guy, I saw him the other day. He's like, since you gave it to me a couple months ago, I've put 1,300 miles on the bike.
Wow.
You see him everywhere in town. It's fantastic. It's such a great feeling. He's such a great guy. And it's given him the ability to work in different places, do odd jobs in places, and be able to run errands, and just gave him some freedom. It was just an amazing gift those women gave us.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Wow. So what is how popular are e-bikes in your tri-community area?
They're gaining in popularity. Okay. And I'll say there are 2 different groups of people that ride them. You'll see a lot of people that are mountain bikers or gravel riders.
Right.
Even commuters. We're actually getting more and more people that do a lot of riding, serious, really good mountain bike riders, just great bike riders.
Yeah.
And they're getting an e-bike, just like I have one.
Right.
So they can use that rather than drive.
Yeah.
It's the short commutes. It's like, well, I don't need to do it. He goes, I feel great when I do this. It's fantastic. So you think you're seeing more and more of the commuting bike and more and more people on e-bikes on the trails where they wouldn't be able to ride otherwise. Yeah. So now they're out there. When I ride the rail trail, if you want a nice easy day, you go on the rail trail, it's pretty. Right. You'll see a lot of elderly people, and maybe half of them are on e-bikes. They wouldn't be riding otherwise, so it's fantastic. the other side of the coin are these kids that are buzzing around at 40 miles an hour without helmets, not following the rules. And it's an issue. And we've had, they're riding on sidewalks. They're almost hitting people.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous. So the towns, the police departments in the towns are looking at whether we want to do some ordinances. And I work with one of the state advocacy groups, and we're looking to see if we can get legislation passed at the state level to regulate those.
In my community of Charleston, West Virginia, it's very similar in that there are there's two different groups that tend to be using e-bikes. There's the fitness people who are either getting a little older and need some help getting up our fairly steep hills, and they're maybe looking to commute on an e-bike because it's faster and easier than a car. And parking in West Virginia is very difficult. There's a lot of hills and there's not a lot of room for the roads. And then the other group, like you said, are often younger folks who are using the e-bikes as basically motor scooters.
Yeah.
And they are usually not obeying traffic laws when they're doing it. And as a lifelong cyclist, it makes me a little frustrated to see, because I'm like, God bless you for being out there on the bike, but you're not following the rules.
Yes. I was in Littleton Bike and Fitness a few weeks ago when a family came in, and there were two kids, probably under 10, and they were looking at bikes. And Dave said, "What kind of bike are you looking for?" And both kids were like, "E-bikes." And I looked at them and said, "You don't want an e-bike now. It's no fun. It's not as much fun. Get out on a regular bike. It's so much more fun."
Yeah.
But they want the speed and don't want the effort.
Yeah. It's there's an American e-bike company that has just started marketing or started selling child-size e-bikes, and they're like, they've got like 12-inch wheels on it, and they're like, "Whoa, we put a limiter on it so they can only go 15 miles an hour," and I'm like.
First of all, 15 miles an hour for a kid that size is fast.
Right.
Second of all, they know how to override that limit.
Right. Well, yeah. That was when I was when I had my Pedigo. If I the computer on it, if I told it, you had a choice of wheel diameter that you could put onto it. And so if I told it that I had 16-inch wheels, it would actually allow me to do about 27 miles per hour instead of topping out at 20 or 22. So I opened up Strava and set some personal records for my commute.
I love it.
Normally it would take me 50 minutes on my bike was like a 30-minute commute, which I just couldn't have done. So that's going to wrap up the first part of my interview with Bruce Kathleen of Bike the North Country. Subscribe now to tell me about your bike so you don't miss the conclusion of my interview in the next episode. If there's someone in your life who loves bikes and loves podcasts, please send them a link to the show and share it on social media. If you want to share a story about your bike and the adventures that you've taken on it, contact me by email. My email address is friendwes@mac.com. That's friendwes@mac.com. I love to do rolling interviews, but if we're not in the same county, I'm happy to make a remote interview with you. All you need is a smartphone, a quiet room, and some internet access. Keep the rubber side down and keep rolling. Cheers, y'all. Copyright Rambling Ukulele Productions 2026. All rights reserved.